Hello, beautifuls. This is Atleen, and welcome back to my channel. So tonight we will be discussing rules about which hosts are in which subnet. Now, every device that connects to an IP internet network needs to have an IP address. And these devices include computers used by end users, servers, mobile phones, laptops, IP phones, tablets, and networking devices like routers, switches, and firewalls. So in short, any any device that uses IP to send and receive packets needs an IP address. The IP addresses must be assigned according to some basic rules, and this is for good reasons. To make routing work efficiently, IP addressing rules group addresses into groups called subnets. The rules are as follows. Addresses in the same subnet are not separated by a router. As you can see with figure 11-1, A and B are not separated by a router. They are grouped together. And addresses in different subnets are separated by at least one router. Figure 11-3 shows the general concept with host A and B in one subnet and host C in another. In particular, note that hosts A and B are not separated from each other by any routers. However, host C, separated from A and B by at least one router, must be in a different subnet. The idea that hosts on the same link must be in the same subnet is much like the postal code concept. All mailing addresses in the same town use the same postal code, zip codes in the United States. Addresses in another town, whether relatively nearby or on the other side of the country, have a different postal code. The postal code gives the postal service a better ability to automatically sort the mail to deliver it to the right location. For the same general reasons, hosts on the same LAN are in the same subnet, and hosts in different LANs are in different subnets. Note that the point-to-point WAN link in the figure also needs a subnet. Figure 11-3 shows router 1 connected to the LAN subnet on the left and to a WAN subnet on the right. Router R2 connects to that same WAN subnet. To do so, both R1 and R2 will have IP addresses on their WAN interfaces, and the addresses will be in the same subnet. An Ethernet WAN link has the same IP addressing needs with each of the two routers having an IP address. Finally, because the router's main job is to forward packets from one subnet to another, routers typically connect to multiple subnets. For example, in this case, router R1 connects to one LAN subnet on the left and one WAN subnet on the right. To do so, R1 will configure will be configured with 2 different IP addresses, one per interface. These addresses will be in different subnets because the interfaces connect the router to different subnets. So now we will go over, do I know this already? Host A is a PC connected to switch S1W1 and assigned to a VLAN1. Which of the following are typically assigned an IP address in the same subnet as host A? And it does state choose two. And the answers given, the choices are the local router's WAN interface, B, the local router's LAN interface, or C, all other hosts attached to the same switch, or D, other hosts attached to the same switch and also in VLAN 1. The answers are B, the local router's LAN interface, and D, other hosts attached to the same switch and also in VLAN 1. And the reasoning behind the answers are the general rule to determine whether 2 devices' interfaces should be in the same subnet is whether the 2 interfaces are separated from each other by a router to provide a way for host in one VLAN to send data to hosts outside the VLAN. A local router must connect its LAN interface to the same VLAN as the host and have an address in the same subnet as the host. All the hosts in the same VLAN on the same switch would not be separated from each other by a router. So these hosts would also be in the same subnet. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and keep going. I wish you well.